All right, hello, welcome everyone to this town hall. I'm so excited for our panel discussion today because I truly myself feel honored to have each of these men on the panel. When I was thinking about who would be the best people to have just to talk about just impact in the community and just things that they're doing just organically, just because of their hearts for the love of Chicago. Many of you all suggested when I asked individuals, and each of these individuals I've learned about either impersonally or through other individuals as well. So I'm excited, just one, to just talk about how are these men doing amazing work in the city and the work that we can continue to do in the city. So as you all are tuning in, as we do each Monday, as you have questions or comments, put them in the comment sections. I will display them. We'll get to a Q&A time where you can pose them to each of the men or is a direct person you want to ask. And again, this is really an opportunity for us as the city of Chicago to come together and think of ways that we can continue to support kids, families, and just as we get through this pandemic. So to kick it off for our community leaders in action, we're going to start off with each of them with an introduction. And so we'll just have each of them kind of briefly introduce themselves, and then we'll dive right into our conversation. So we will start off with Mr. Jamal Cole.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you definitely for having me. Look, my name is Jamal Cole. I'm the founder, executive director of My Block, My Hood, My City. We're a social impact organization based out of Chatham on the South Side. Our motto is instead of blaming big city government, saying the city's messed up, the weather's messed up, the alderman's messed up, that philosophy to us is messed up. Our philosophy is what's something simple you can do that'll have a positive impact on your block. So what's something simple you can do that'll change everything? And if you start simple, you can take on bigger challenges later on. So glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I look forward to talking with all of y'all.
Yeah. We'll go on to Walter.
Hello, my name is Walter Mendenhall. I'm the executive director of the Male Mogul Initiative. The Male Mogul Initiative seeks to positively transform the way young men live and lead in their communities through leadership and entrepreneurship development. Basically, what we try to do, we try to take young men's ideas and make them into profitable businesses.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, Ryan.
All right. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Thanks for having me, Jarema. My name is Ron Scott. I am an entrepreneur as well. My brand is Fresh. That is an acronym that stands for Forever Remaining Extraordinary, Staying Humble. I've been a barber for over 20 years. I've been a natural hairstylist for over 13 years now. So basically, I've worked with youth. I'm a youth mentor, social advocate as well.
Awesome. And then Mr. Tim Flowers.
First of all, my name is Tim Flowers. I want to thank all of you all for having this conversation. I want to thank Jerome for putting it together. I'm always tell people I think that it's very important that we as men start to have certain dialogues that can kind of transform what's going on in the community. Me, myself, I'm the assistant basketball coach at Simeon Career Academy. It's also where I played at, so it's near and dear to my heart. I do a lot of mentorship work in the Inglewood area, coming from 72nd and Marshfield. And again, man, I'm just thankful to be a part of this right now.
Awesome. And so just to jump off, I think that many of us are familiar with individuals' works as people who are tuning in, but I would love for what I'm learning as I work with more families and schools is that they really aren't aware of everything that's happening in the cities. As you know, the pandemic hit us, and there's a lot of questions of how do we still support the youth? How are families still being able to be supported? Are there still spaces where kids can have these kind of social emotional conversations? And so I would just love for us to start off with the conversation of what are you currently doing in this time, or has it paused some of the work you were doing? So whoever would love to jump in on that question, what's currently the ways that you're serving the community during this
time? Okay, I'll go.
Right.
Currently, I'm utilizing my organization as a gateway to impact the community. I'm working a lot with the NPAT Chicago. We are promoting the U.S. Census 2020. So we've actually been awarded a $25,000 grant to promote the census. And for those that don't know, the census is the way that we do get funding to do the things we do, pass out food and things like that. So that's one of the things I'm doing. Also, I work a lot with the my youth group, the Kappa League. which is a group of young men via my chapter of Harvey Markham. And so we do a virtual Zoom meeting every Saturday to check in on the young guys and see how they mental health is, let alone schoolwork. And so we get a lot out of that. Also, let me see. Last but most definitely not least, praying. Yeah, doing a lot of that. And just talking to everybody, staying connected, and trying to get through this basically.
I feel you. Yeah. Anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, so I'll go. So right now, currently, we're still doing mentorship classes. So we are every Monday or actually every Wednesday and Friday from 12 to 3. We're just open on Zoom, whether it's just a one-on-one conversation or, just teaching classes with a small group of young men. We just want to kind of keep engaged. And also for this summer, we actually have employed 26 young men to work at various work sites during the summer, so they can have some income coming in for the summer.
I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll take it next if that's all right with y'all.
Yeah.
For me, obviously by me being a coach, it's more direct contact, and we not able to have that right now during that time. But I'm thankful and fortunate enough to work for a head coach, Rob Smith, over at Simeon, where he's delegated 5 and 6 kids during this pandemic lockdown for us to be responsible for, to make sure that one of the things that we are not talking about enough when it comes to our students is the importance for them right now to be checking in, logging in, and submitting their work, even though they're not in school. The importance for that, because I'm looking at it as, for somebody that's a coach, for an athlete that want to go be a Division I athlete, as we all know, academically, you got to fill that box too. So this is an important time for guys that's not in school to be able to go in, log in, submit the work, and get the best possible grade that you can get. If you're a sophomore, this might help you as a senior. So for me, it's just been more about being present for the young guys, making sure I'm available for them, communicating with them, and I'm not going to lie, even if it's just, man, let's play Madden for a second. Let's just talk stuff to each other just so we can have this dialogue with each other, so I can kind of get my feelings on what's going on with you. So that's my way of, making sure I'm staying relevant right now and helping with our young people.
I love it. And then Jamal, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah, well, first of all, wow, honored again to be on a call. Y'all doing such great work. I'm gonna have to take you up on that Madden, playing a Madden online. Right now, man, there's a lot of young men and women that are out of school and out of work, and there's a lot of seniors that are that need to be checked in on, and they need food and supplies, and they can't come out the house. What we've been doing is just playing matchmaker. So we've been able to get about 50 youth jobs by having them do well-being checks we have 2,500 seniors that have reached out for support. They can't come out the house, they want to get groceries, and they need to be checked up on or maybe connected to a primary care physician. So our youth, they work 10 hours a week. We pay them $15 an hour, and they make well-being calls. And they we have an entire script for them. We can connect them to, we do contact tracing, and we can also connect them to primary healthcare physicians. So it's been a good opportunity for youth that are interested in the healthcare field to be exposed to work there. They get, certificates from Rush Hospital. And we've also been doing volunteer events every 2 weeks where we have hundreds of people, come to a park, and we put well-being kits inside of their cars, and they deliver them to seniors that need help. So we ship out about 100 packets of food a week, and we do about, I want to say maybe 500 care packets that include hand sanitizer, disinfectant spray, gloves, masks, etc. And we deliver those to about 500 houses a month. So we're doing God's work like everybody else. When you're a leader, you don't really know what to do. You just, you move forward when you're uncertain. And right now, I'm just trying my best to ask questions and try to understand and move forward.
Yeah.
I love it. And this goes perfectly to our next question. And every one of you all hit on it, which I wanted to start off with, is the well-being. And so many of you all talked about like this social emotional, just simply as Tim talked about, like, hey, I care about those academics, but if it's through a game, we get to talk. Let's chop it up. I know each of y'all just talked about just like, hey, just checking in on our friends and families. And this goes into what do we still need to address and consider. And so I would just first would love to see through the community that you work through, how are people doing? Like, what is the well-being? That could be from a youth perspective, perception, or even with Jamal, you just mentioned the seniors. Like, how are we doing?
The seniors are lonely. Like I feel like they're
Yeah.
really lonely. So it's good to check in on your seniors to see how they're doing and see if they need anything else besides what type of groceries do you need? Do you need do you have any do you know COVID facts? Like, hey, this is what the symptoms of COVID are. Contact tracing. Who have you been in contact with? It's just check in with people and see how they're doing. That's the number one thing that I'm hearing from seniors though, is that they're so appreciative when the youth call because they're lonely right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely. I think too. Also, another thing is that I know a lot of young men are angry. I know some of my seniors, part of their football season was gone. Their basketball season, they weren't able to go to playoffs. Track was canceled. So there's a lot of anger surrounding them, and having them to coach through. We have to help them coach through that anger, and trying to see the the possibilities in sometimes obstacles.
Yeah. I see over there with us at Simeon, and I mean, just the fact, anybody that knows basketball, our program does a good job of getting young men and sending them to college, getting Division I, Division II, scholarships in general to the next level after they leave Simeon. So kind of to what you were just saying, Walter, bro, it's been difficult because those seniors that needed this last part of the year for qualifications for the next level, I'm thankful that the NCAA chose to accept most seniors if they check certain boxes and the grades from this semester really won't matter. That was a huge thing for us because we had a kid this year, Jeremiah Williams, who helped us to win the city championship. He just committed to the University of Temple a couple weeks ago. And we just, at one point in time, didn't know what it was going to be because there was so much misinformation out here that we didn't know what to tell our young people. We didn't know what to, how to guide them through this time. So I think that there's been a lot of frustration on behalf of young people. And like I just said, just from the fact that we got so much miseducation, they've been lost. That's what I see most, is just those two things.
Yeah.
Those were, three great responses. Man, so I believe that to put it all together, the culmination of it all goes back to mental health. When you're checking on somebody, seeing how they doing, seeing what's going on with them, that's mental health.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I encourage is pretty much getting back to the things that we've gotten away from, to encourage that. Like for me, I called up some homies and played softball. You know what I'm saying? Like in the park. I ain't played softball in years.
Yeah.
Just to get outside in the backyard, throw around the football. Who been in the backyard? When the last time you been in the backyard? We get so busy, living our lives and stuff like that we get away from, the simple things that we used to do. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that I've also been doing to help during this time.
Yeah.
I love it. I know many of you all kind of hit in on even in your personal lives as entrepreneurs or like in your work are helping you to do that. I believe, and I would love to hear what you all think, that this is a perfect time for us to help our community and people to realize the whole power of entrepreneurship and starting their own things and starting to really like invest in those dreams and wish before, like, I didn't have the time. Like, we ain't got nothing but time, you know what I mean? Or it's that new skill you wanted to learn. Like, this is that time to take that class and rebuild it. I work in a high school, and so speaking to my students, I'm like, hey, I remember you saying you want to start a podcast. What about that? You know what I mean? You told me you really want to do that fashion line. Like, this might be that time to hit up someone to see if they'll be your mentor. You know what I'm saying? I think just giving them those ideas, because similar to you all, working with the youth and working with families, people are just kind of lacking direction, right? Like, what do I do during this time? Maybe I had a thriving business before this, and I don't know what it's going to look like at the end of it. Or, what do I do if summertime doesn't look the way it used to? Like summer camps, all those things. Do y'all have like any top of mind suggestions or things that we may need to just chew on? Or like, what can we help people to find hope in? Like, man, maybe this that time. Maybe it's a reason why that job ended. It's a reason for you to start your own job. You know what I mean? What is some conversations or things that you think about that?
One of the things I've been saying a lot lately, and by the way, great point. Great points you all are making. But I've been telling people that, the Bible says that if you give a man a fish, he'll have food for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, he'll have food for a lifetime. And so I think these $1,200 stimulus checks are good for today. But how are we ensuring we're helping people in the long run? People are quick to hand out food. Hey, you guys need some food? You guys need some food?
Yeah.
But why can't we be training entrepreneurs on how to use internet marketing skills or brick and mortar businesses on how to use constant contact or start their website? We can be teaching people financial literacy. A lot of communities that I work in, there's 15 currency exchanges and no banks. So even when you get the $1,200 stimulus check, you're going to go get robbed. They're going to take 3% of your check right away at the currency exchange. Why can't we be teaching financial literacy to open up bank accounts? One of the things I'm telling youth right now is to set goals, man. If you find your purpose will pull you to, having goals creates a force field around you. You're not going to be going to no party in a pandemic if you got goals. This ain't on my list of goals. So I'm just trying to talk to youth about how important it is to set daily goals, weekly goals, family goals, personal goals, business goals, school goals, because I'm telling you, when you have goals and you're really clear on them, they can pull you through a pandemic. And that's kind of I don't know how it works. I just know it works.
Yeah. Man, I love that response. I love that response.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. For me, coming from the community I come from 72nd and Marshfield, dealing with the young people that I deal with, like we all are, I always try to challenge them as far as the men aspect. I think one of the things our community is severely lacking in is just this strong, positive force of men. And I think that when it comes to what you were just saying, Jamal, I think that that's something that we should be making our young people look forward to right now. We dropped the ball prior. We've had time to sit back and think about what our responsibilities are in our community. And for me, I've accepted the challenge. When you said, your purpose will pull you, my purpose, me following that purpose got me in this moment right now on this conversation. I'm somebody that, even though I coach basketball, I try to make it more about life, more about relationships than it is about basketball. Basketball is my magnet. So everything you were just saying was just hitting home to me, bro. So real quick before we go, I just want to, I promise y'all, it means so much to be here with y'all. It's dope to just know that you're not the only one out here that's working, and I see what y'all doing, but I just want to give y'all roses, man, and tell y'all, man, I appreciate y'all work.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I tell my young people all the time, life is 10% what happens to you, 90%. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. And for me, I tell them all the time, you either be productive or destructive. You have this time. What are you going to do to be productive? Yeah. What are you going to do in order to advance your life or get to where you want to get to? And what we try to do at the Male Mogul is just help them and guide them and set goals to help them to get to where they ultimately want to be.
I love it. I know, right? You about to say something. I was going to say something. Go ahead.
No, for me, it's just more so I use my platform as a barber. I deal with the youth all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? My mouthpiece is what I use. You know what I'm saying? I if I can touch one, that's
no, you most of our therapists. But that's the price, though.
That's exactly why I keep saying, promoting mental health. That's talking to them, seeing where they head at. No, don't hang out with that guy today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do your thing over here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not you. That's the candid conversations I have. You know what I'm saying? With my influence. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I was gonna say to that. One of my best friends, she's a hairstylist, and she was telling me in coming back from the pandemic, they have to take now a domestic violence class or something like that, because during this time when they started to come back to the barbershops and to the hair salons, you're gonna start hearing what's been going on in the homes, right? So I'm getting my hair done, but I've been with my abusive husband a little longer than I used to. You know what I'm saying? Our kids gonna start talking about the things they're lacking. And so I really want to push on a point. I know I had to come prepared. I've been speaking on y'all pages. Tim had made a point on his page that I absolutely love, but she said, you've been doing some posts we have to look to save us. right? So I know you've been making a lot of posts about like some of the racial things that's been going on, right? I also wanted to bring this up because we also know summertime shy is coming. I don't know what that's going to look like, especially with us maybe still in this stay-at-home order. And I guess I just want us to just kind of hit on that. Like, what are some things we may still need to address, even in preparation for the season that we're in, that we're about to enter into?
Real quick, I mean, I'm gonna say this. Everything that was going on prior to the pandemic in our communities is really still going on. So it would be kind of, for me, the continuum of addressing problems that's already been there. I mean, for me personally, within the last 3 weeks, I've had 3 people that I've known be shot and killed. I've had the young man that was killed on the train tracks. He was from my community, from 71st Marshfield. These things have been going on, and that's why, for me, when I have conversations, I press on that men factor. You know, I was raised by my mother with 6 brothers and sisters, and she did a hell of a job. My mother did a hell of a job raising us. But the impact of every man that I've come in contact with in my life was so, vital for me in my growth process and becoming who I am today. So I push on that a lot. I think that it's that we at that point during this pandemic where we have a conversation where we need to say, you know what, us as men, we need to go in our communities and say, you know what, we're not having this no more. You know what I mean? Like, our job is to protect, and the Bible says our job is to protect and provide. And I think that that's something that we're not doing a good job at. So when I say what I said in that post, it's because of that. Like, we have to say that. I have to take my responsibility and step into that, and everybody else. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Anyone want to add? Or if not, I'm going to go to our next question we have posed from the chat. I'll just pose it out there, and if you have something, you can add to it. So in the vein of summertime coming up, a question was posed. So what can we do this upcoming summer that's virtually for our youth and families? Has any of you all kind of had ideas of what that looks like as far as what that virtual work will look like?
Well, right now, what we're doing next week is we're having Air Force One designer do like a virtual workshop where he does painting on shoes, leather Air Force One. So all of our students are getting our graduates are getting a fresh pair of Air Forces, and we're going to do a virtual workshop that teaches them how to paint shoes and how to design shoes. And this guy works at Nike, so I think that's going to be innovative. We've also been doing virtual cooking shows every Thursday where we cook, just pasta. We tried to make gumbo. It was just a little bit too much, but some of the ingredients you needed first. But we're just trying to teach people how to cook virtually. And also we're doing, last 2 nights ago, we had a virtual call to Indonesia where people can see the rivers in Indonesia, talk to young people in Indonesia, and see the different money in Indonesia. And they was like, oh man, y'all ain't got no subway over here. But they actually get to, travel the world without leaving their crib. So it's like we're using Zoom to the fullest capability right now.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So we actually are in the summertime going to do a curriculum called sorry about that, Mastering Manhood. So so I know a lot of the ASM programming, a lot of One Summer Chicago is all going virtual this summer. So we want to do something that's edifying for our young men and to build them up in identity of who they are as, men, especially as African American men.
Yeah.
So before the next person shares, Jamal, they want to know, what is the link? Could they get a link to those things as far as like with the Air Force One and the, how would they find out more about those things?
Yeah, you can go to our website at formyblock.org and just sign up. It's for the Youth Senior Connect. That's for jobs. And as far as the Air Force Ones, just fill out an app right on our website. We're not buying Air Force Ones, everybody. I'm gonna put y'all through some tasks, but and Nike got to give me a discount. But no, I'm just trying to be innovative, man. Honestly, like I want to touch on something as well. Like, things ain't gonna change this summer in Chicago. Like, things don't. It's gonna be the same as it is every summer. Things never change until you change. Yeah. Like, the only way things get better for you is when you get better. So I just want to stress to a lot of youth or whoever's listening is that it's gonna be pretty much the same as it's always been, unless you decide to change. So what's something simple that you can do that'll make a difference on your block? And if you start simple, you can develop the muscle it takes to take on bigger challenges. And it don't have to be something huge, man. You could shovel snow for. I mean, it's the summertime, so you ain't shoveling snow, but you could literally like get masks for everybody in your block or make a mask. You could just give a card to everybody in your block and say hello. Just who are your neighbors? Like sometimes we want to. You don't have to have a master's degree to make a difference in your block. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a lawyer. So I just want people to think simple and do what they can where they're at right now.
Yeah.
I love it. One of the questions that was just posed is that if you, great point. The question was, if you were a teen during this time, how would you handle it?
It's crazy. Me and some of my former teammates were just having this conversation about how we would have handled this situation. We didn't come up with any good answers. I don't think we would even. I don't know if I would have known what to do. Being in a house that grew up in the house with a lot of people, like no space, all those things that these young people are going through right now. I don't know how I would have handled that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, how would you be as a teen right now?
Man, look. Like I was saying, like I did getting back to those things that I've gotten away from. Yeah, I'd be in the backyard somewhere, honestly. Also, thinking back then, I was an honor student. So that whole e-learning thing would have been, work hard and then, backyard time to try to create that schedule, that routine, like to keep the, the sanity down. Like, man, like, okay, when I do this, I'm going to do this, and just think of different stuff, on my own, or even like interact with my family more, since we all in the house. So
I think for me, I thought about the same thing what Tim just said. I don't know how high school would have been for me with social media, right? Like social media for me was like a college, later on thing. And I think now the biggest thing I think would be hard for me as a teen is just seeing so much happening in the world and I can't interact with it. You know what I mean? Like I think for many of our teens, I think they had that big thing about like how they gonna have that big party on the west side or how they gonna do this. It's like at the end of the day, I'm a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to be with my friends. I'm trying to kick it. I think that social media, I mean, so many things, both good and bad, come with it. I don't know how I would personally have done with it because I would feel like I'm missing out. You know what I mean? And especially when you got certain states opening up, certain states not. Like I'll be looking at my mom like, my cousin in Atlanta's outside. Well, I can't go outside. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to, I have an 8-year-old son. It's hard for him to understand, like, why? Like, why can't I? You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but so what I'm supposed to do? You know what I mean? Fortnite is only fun for so long, so I think I think for me, it would be hard to process because we're in an age where everything is so easily accessible. And you keep telling me no, and I don't understand why it's a no. You know what I mean?
I know for me, being a 3-sport athlete in high school, playing football, basketball, and track, I probably would be angry right now. And I would need some, guidance during this time because I wouldn't be okay mentally, emotionally and those things. So I understand where some of these young men are coming from as far as just with the disappointment and just the hurt that they're dealing with.
I'm having withdrawals from being in the gym right now as a grown man.
Exactly.
All they do though, for real. Yeah. This all a lot of these kids do to what you were saying. Well, this is what they do. This is what we do. Yeah. And the thing that we love is taken away from us. I just don't know how I would have coped with that as a 14 or 15-year-old young man. It would have been difficult, I think.
Tough.
Yeah. Try to look at the comments. I'm gonna go to the next one. It's still some more coming in, but I'm gonna go to my next question. So when we think about the city, and I want to put up one of the comments that someone posed before you answer it. The question I want to know is like, what is our call of action to the city of Chicago? And so I think that a lot of times, like, I love Jamal's motto of just like block by block, like what can you handle here? But I think also it's a matter of like, a lot of times I think it's just like lack of access and knowing like what the city actually does owe us and what we could do to work with the city and what can we do to like, I think it is of course like home by home, but what's some things that we should be maybe even asking for the city or maybe things that you already know the city is working on and we don't know. But like call to action, like what would be your call of action to the city of Chicago? Not just the South Side, the West Side, but just in general, the whole city. And before you all answer, one of the comments that was, some people are giving more questions. One of the comments was back to like this, the technology that families were given during this time. And so Joseph Williams, which I know you know, Tim, he mentioned we need to keep every resource that the city and state are providing now. It makes no sense for kids to not have internet and computers to take home and for all the hardships we have to face in general. So just even that whole idea of like, okay, kids were, because of this pandemic, given computers and internet, that means you could have gave them to this before the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So like, what are some conversations like, I think crisis brings about action, but what are some things that in general, like now that I know you have money for that, what else should we be thinking about that we should be thinking about as a city? So just to that call of action, what do you think should be our mindset when it comes to the city of Chicago?
So one thing I would have to say though is that I have to give the city of Chicago some credit. So New York, they shut down all their youth programs, everything, like nothing's going on in the summer. LA did the same thing. And I'm just happy that Chicago is still trying to do something for the youth this summer, whether it's digital or it's in person. They're making concerted efforts to try to reach some of the young people in this city. And I just thank Mayor Lightfoot for that, because she didn't have to do that, because a lot of other big cities are just, shutting it down for the summer.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I think they give Miss Lightfoot, Mayor Lightfoot, too hard of a time. For us, I think that everything she's been doing, I was able to talk to her a little bit before the Girls City Championship this year, and just to hear somebody like her speak the way that she does and how passionate she is about our communities. I'm thankful for that. Man, I'm thankful for that, to have somebody as a leader like that for us. And to answer your question as far as what my call to action is I'm gonna always hop on that same thing about the need for male mentorship. What every one of you all are doing, as we know, because you all are working with young guys. Remember, you are working in the high school and you see these young men. A lot of these young guys are just lost. They don't have any leadership. They don't have anybody that's kind of laying down a foundation for how they should be. So the fact that they got guys like us, they got other guys that's out here working. Joseph Williams is somebody that was just watching, who I'm a big fan of, for the work that he does in the Inglewood area. Brandon Dawes, McKinley Nelson. I just think that it's at a point. I've been having conversations. I'm in right now. I've been having conversations with people in my network throughout the lockdown. Men, and my message to them has been: once this is over, how can we come together to make sure that we are working together to make the right moves moving forward? For me, more so than anything, it's about like, okay, let's dialogue right now. We got the time to talk. Just like this, we got the time to talk. But after this, how can we all move forward together, and it not be about me? It not be about you, Walter, or you, Jamal, or you, Ron, but it be about the young people that we work with. But shit, we grown men now. We done made our decisions. We are who we gonna be. We gotta give our kids a chance. So that's my call to action.
I agree. I think it's the same vein before the next person speak. Joe just said, in the same, you said, call to action. We need to have the youth at the table to see what they want. We create things for the youth, but we never ask them what they want. So a youth council should be created to help put some input on things.
That's actually what I was just about to say. It kind of goes with what I said. Every Saturday we do the Zoom calls with our youth group, and so what we do is we ask them, "What's going on with y'all? What would y'all like to see?" You know what I'm saying? What are the things that y'all got going on every day? What do you all want to do to break the monotony of what's going on for you all right now? You know what I'm saying? So, great point. Yeah, we definitely should see what the youth want, as opposed to just, steadily creating something for them, because they might not want to do that. They might have a better idea to tweak it, but we do come up with. So yeah.
They gotta understand that we don't, though. They dealing with it. They understand for real, though.
That's true.
They understand what they going through better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point to me.
That's true. Any other call to actions? If not, I'll pull up another question that just came up. No? Well, we'll go to this question. So the question that they pose is, So what do you make? What is the sense can we make of the violence that continues during this pandemic?
None.
I mean, if I talk to a youth and, you know, a teenager or a millennial, anytime I say, hey man, what you do for your birthday? They say, oh, I ain't do nothing. I was in the house. I'm trying to stay out the way. Oh, what you do for Christmas? I ain't do nothing. I was in the house. I'm trying to stay out the way. What you do for New Year's, man? I ain't do nothing. I was in the house. I'm trying to stay. I mean, kids been trying to stay out of the way to danger their whole life. I feel
Yep.
like, now people know what it feels like to live under a specter of death and not knowing like where your next meal gonna come from. A lot of students that I've worked with are so resilient because they've been dealing with this type of. They've been desensitized to danger their whole life, so no wonder they've been going out. This is something they deal with on a daily basis. Just when you walk to school past the safe passage signs in your community, every sign says safe passage. There's more technology on the light poles than there is in the classrooms. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So I would say that our Chicago, if you grew up in Chicago, you can make it anywhere. Our youth is the most resilient students in the world. So I would, I would tell as far as the violence, man, that's set some goals, man. Because if you got some goals, man, you're not about to hop in the car with them drug dealers. You know, you just ain't on my list of goals. I mean, I don't know how it works, but I'm telling you, once you start setting detailed goals for yourself, the universe brings it to you. And we're not teaching goal setting a lot in schools anymore.
Yeah. When you say that, Jamal, I look at like I always tell people like the big homie syndrome. Like I grew up in the neighborhood where the big homies, the guys I consider like the big homies, while they were doing some negative things, they positively influenced me. Man, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Take your goofy over there to the park. Go play basketball. Get away from this. So it was a communication, a dialogue that I had with them that a lot of these kids don't have. So even for me, if I'm coaching on any one of us, we might spend 5 hours out of the day with this kid, one kid, but then he got to go back to the rest of the day, on to the next time he see you, back to all of the same things that's going on, back to the same type of people in this community. So again, going back to people, I try to focus on my neighborhood so much because I came up in an era where those big homies actually stood for something in the community. They was doing what they had to do to make money. And I'm not agreeing with them decisions, but at the end of the day, it was that. But I look at it as not what you want, but how did you use what you was doing. And them guys at the end of the day was making sure that I was getting to school. I grew up with Derrick Rose. We both grew up on 72nd and Marshfield. Both played at Simeon together, been friends since second grade. And these same guys that I'm talking about are some of the guys that helped him become who he is today as far as helping him get out of our community. So I'm always pushing that pressure because we benefited from it. I saw the benefits of it. All the work that y'all doing, the contact y'all have with the kids, that benefit is going to be shown eventually. They're going to learn from y'all. They watching, they paying attention. So I think that that's what we can make sense of, is that it's just, this is going to be that way. We're going to keep having violence until we have like a stronger presence of us. It can't just be us four. It got to be 400. It got to be 4,000. It got to be 400,000. And we all working towards that same goal. So that's how I make sense of the violence.
I want to echo that. I tell people all the time, and even the reason for these platforms, we've been having them for like the last 3-4 weeks, is because I believe that we have lost this village mentality, right? I believe we're in these blocks where everyone like just take care of their own home. You know what I mean? Like I remember growing up and stuff was mitigated because I know she's gonna trick on me on the corner. You know what I mean? Like she know my mama, they know my cousins, like the candy store man. I mean, I remember growing up, going to my cousin's house. They lived over on 82nd and Ellis. They were in gangs, but it was a community village. You see what I'm saying? Like you just said, like they would be like, all right, we're gonna take you get some candy. You need to go back in the house. You know what I mean? Or, everyone just knew each other. You looked out, like you knew who was the older person on the block. You helped them do what they need to do. The police officer actually, could mitigate stuff because they knew the people in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? It was like more of a village mentality. And I think when we ask questions like why is stuff still happening, because we don't really be caring about our whole neighborhood. We care about our block. I might care about my friend, but the whole like you my neighbor, I look out for you, you look out for me, we're losing that. And because of that, I can rob you because I don't look at you as family. I don't look at you as, my big cousin or my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe a lot of stuff, and I grew up in Army Russia my whole life. And I think that what I grew up around is so different. Like you said, we had violence all the time, but it was a difference of like respect, and you just understood family. And you know what I mean? We all went to the same elementary school, same high school. I think this whole like we are a village has been lost. And I think we need to build that back. Like we need to bring back block clubs. We need to bring back all these things that made you care about your neighborhood. You know what I mean? It wasn't her block. I'm gonna pick up your trash because guess what? It's on my block. I don't care. That's not my house. You know what I'm saying? It's just things that we've lost. It's very like my family. As long as my family good, we all good.
Yeah. I think for me, I think a lot of bad decisions are made based off economics and based off money. And what I try to do is provide them an alternative route. It's like, yeah, you could be on this corner, but you can, you know, create your own business. You know what? I'll pay you to come and learn about entrepreneurship. And then from there, you can use those skills and you can create a legal or legit business. So, you know, what I try to do and what the organization tries to do is to basically give them alternative routes for economic gain. And a lot of times, some of our best students are those who used to sell drugs or who used to be on the streets because they have those skills. They just need to
They
transfer.
already got the business.
Yeah, they already got the skills. It's just transferring those skills into something that's positive.
Yeah.
I love it.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Tim. Yeah.
I got a question. So, and this for everybody. So right now we looking at in the city of Chicago, we have, I believe, somewhere close to 9 or 10 guys in the NBA from the city of Chicago. I believe it's 9 or 10 guys in the NBA from the city of Chicago. We know that by them being athletes and not NFL guys, but that's a platform that none of us are fortunate enough to have as far as being present day athletes in this era. My question to you all is, do you believe that our communities are suffering because we can't even get guys on those levels to come back and work with guys like us towards the progression of our communities? Being that, and I'm saying, like, utilizing them and their platform to push a message or push something an agenda that we create.
I think it's kind of twofold. For me, I actually used to play professionally. My brother played professionally, Richard Mendenhall for the Steelers for 6 years. And I think it's good for them to be involved as a figurehead, but I think it starts with guys like us who was with them. You know, you best friends, you know what I'm saying, with Derrick Rose. And it's just empowering your mission. You know what I'm saying? And I think they could do a better job. That's just my personal opinion. They could do a better job of empowering or helping to empower us to, you know, kind of, build our platform in a way.
Mm-hmm.
We have
go ahead. Yep.
Joseph was running for alderman. He ran for alderman, I believe it was in the 15th or the 16th. We had Penny Dolph running in the 15th or 16th. They were running right next to each other. And the reason why I said what I just said is because I felt like and we got great. Stephanie Coleman is a fantastic alderman over there. But by me being from that community, I just wanted people to have an understanding of that community. And I just was talking to guys and say, you know what, it ain't about, like you said, Walter, being there per se, but there's nothing with you reposting something that Kenny Joseph does, because what it's going to do is galvanize all the people in the community that follow you. So that's why I was saying, like, do we think that they need to utilize that a little bit more for our betterment?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Okay.
Got you. And if people have questions, again, pose them. I see like it's starting to dwindle off. We have like 2 more I'm gonna pose. But again, then before we end, I want each of y'all to just share again how people can stay connected to the work you're doing and how you really are making an impact. The question is from Shannon. She said, what motivates you guys to want to be involved? We really appreciate this as women because it really does take a village. So just what inspired you? Like, my block, my hood, my city, like, where did that come from? Is it because you saw a lack of it as you growing up? Like, I know you spoke a little bit about like the mogul, like how that started, but just like what got you all to eat? Because not everyone gets up and actually does the work, right? So what was it that made you say, you know what, let me actually go out and become actively involved in what's going on?
Yeah, for me, it was watching Malcolm X growing up, you know, and I mean, people were watching Aladdin and I was watching Malcolm X. I thought Denzel Washington was Malcolm X. I've seen that movie so many times. And so when I became older, I graduated college, I started selling books downtown Chicago in front of Foot Locker. And some of those motivational books got into Cook County Jail. And I would go to Cook County Jail to volunteer. And that's when, in the jail, the guys didn't want to hear me speak. And it made me mad. So I'd be like, man, you don't want to hear me speak? Where you from? And one guy would be like, man, my block is 21st Street. And another guy would say, man, my hood is the low end. And I'd be like, y'all say my block and my hood like y'all own something on the block. Why y'all don't own nothing? Why don't you ever say my city? And it's, oh, man, ain't no black people downtown. Ain't no. And so that's, for me, it was like I was following the call from God to serve and to just get involved and help out any way I could. And so I know it seems like I have a program or a nonprofit organization, but man, I pay a lot of light bills, a lot of phone bills, a lot of Metro PCS bills. I would do whatever it takes, drive kids to college. I just want to be a positive role model in their lives. And it all started from seeing Malcolm X speaking in the community with the beauty supply store in the back, or, you know, the barber shop in the back. I was like, man, he on a strip helping the people. And I wanted to be like that. And that's I'm still trying to be like that for me. That's
that's actually my favorite movie.
That's
my favorite movie. It's funny because when you say that, I mean, I'm motivated by Malcolm X tremendously. A lot of the stuff that I do is, if you look on my social media, you will see so much stuff from Malcolm X because I'm trying to believe in a lot of his teachings. But what motivated me was, again, I played at Simeon from 2003 to 2007. During that time, we won a lot. We was able to do a lot of great things. And because of that, I was able to experience a lot. So for me, growing up in Inglewood, I only knew from Ashland to Horn, where my school was, from 69th to 74th. And when I started playing basketball and I became good at basketball, I was in Dallas, Texas. I was in Las Vegas. I was in Atlanta. And I was around and seeing really how people really interact with each other. Right? So doing that, using that at that moment, going to college, coming back here. And then I lost Gregory Robinson, was like my little brother. He got killed. And nobody knew what happened to him. Nobody said, and all he wanted to do was play basketball. So that was like my thing. When that happened to him, I was like, man, I got to get back out here and coach, because I just, you know, I lost somebody that was so close to me and my family that was like, this is my way to get back. And then once I actually got into it, I just enjoyed it so much. I found my second passion for the game of basketball through it. It's just like these things work hand in hand. Like you said, you paying phone bills, paying light bills. That's what we do as coaches. You doing the same thing as a mentor. Walter, you doing the same thing. Ron, we all doing the same thing, just in different ways, because this is just that call from God. So again, man, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for this opportunity. For real.
It's dope.
I know for me, I just had strong mentors my whole life. Grew up in a single parent household, and a lot of my mentors were my coaches.
Yes,
I actually lived with my coach the last 2 years of my high school career, because my mother, decided to move because she couldn't no longer afford where we lived. And even too, my mom was just a servant. She was a youth minister down in Riverdale. And, she had us out there serving. We was out there handing out flyers, getting chased by dogs, the whole nine. And at the time, I really didn't know why she did what she did, because it seemed like, you weren't getting no money out of it. But, fast forward after I was done playing football and, really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Just remember going into a school on the west side on a career day, met a great young man, was a, basketball player, had 3.2 GPA, but sold drugs in order to get the things that he wanted. And I was just like, man, after that day, I'm like, how many young men in this city and this nation have the gifts, the opportunities, the gifts, the ingenuity to be successful entrepreneurs, but not necessarily exposure and opportunity. So that's how it kind of formed. And it actually started with 5 kids at a church. Now we service over 100 young men a month. So, it's just, like you said, that passion and that, that drive and that, wanting to make a difference in somebody's life.
Thank you. So where do I start? Okay. Man, so initially the seed was planted by my mother. I went to Mount Carmel High School. I went there all 4 years, and during those 4 years, we almost got evicted 7 times because my mother struggled to pay my school's tuition. And instead of pulling me out, you know, it took the village. You know, Jeremy, as you said, it took the village. And so that was the initial seed. Fast forward, when I first became a barber, I was working in the shop and I was behind a chair, and this lady was in there getting her hair done. And she was like, man, I come in, I get my hair done, and I see how you dress, I see your style. I think you would be perfect for my mentor program that I have at Columbia College. She was the director of multicultural affairs at Columbia College. And I was like, so what is it? And she was like, it's called Barbershop. And what it was that I came, I gave free haircuts. They catered the food, and it was an all male program. And we just chopped it up. All ages, all Black men, all students from Columbia. Sometimes we had high school students in there. And with us having those candid conversations, I saw the impact that I was able to have, and giving out those haircuts and stuff like that, and it was actually changing some of those guys' lives. And we would talk to them and ask them, "Oh, well, do y'all think this program is relative and stuff like that?" And the responses that we got was amazing. And so it was at that point I was like, "Okay, this is a great feeling. So I need to keep doing this." However, what way I could do this, or however I can to impact somebody, whatever gift that God gave me, that's gonna be my purpose. And so at the end of the day, my motto is being the change that I want to see, and that's what keeps me going.
I love it. I just want to say my heart is full. And I'm so grateful that you all first even said you would be on this panel. And I'm also excited because as I'm looking in the comments, there's so many just beautiful sharing of information. People are like, man, this is inspiring me. Like one of my good friends, she teaches on the west side. She's like, I have so many boys who are looking for mentors. I'm going to let them know about these things that's going on. And that's the whole reason for this, is just really providing a platform where people can understand that there is amazing work happening in our city. And as even Tim hit, I mean, it's so many people that could have been on this panel, right? It's so many people doing great work. And I want people to know that as well. Just like we had our girls panel last week, there's just so many people that's doing great work. And we are just seeing the beginning of it. And I hope that this is just the beginning of this more and more great partnerships and things that can build. So before we close out, I want everyone to know, if you have additional questions for myself or anyone on the panel, if you put them in the comments. I know a lot of people are asking for your contact info and websites and whatever you're doing. I will make sure I put this in the thread. So if you're watching the video, you can get it. But just one last time, if everyone can just say their name, how they can connect with you, and then we'll close out. So again, anyone want to just kind of shout out maybe some things that's coming up, or just like last little tidbit of how they can continue to connect with you.
Okay. I'll go first. My name again is Walter Mendenhall. My office number is 312-620-5657. We also have a website, the Male Mogul Initiative.org. MAL, so male, not like male, 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 Mogul Initiative.org. And you can also email us at the Male Mogul Initiative@gmail.com.
Awesome.
So if you want to catch me, you can Facebook. You can have me on Facebook at Tim Flowers. Instagram is Tim Flowers 33. You can email me at timflowers33@gmail.com. I'm always reply to people, so reach out to me, whatever you want.
So,
my name is Jamal Cole. I'm on My Block, My Hood, My City. You can follow us. All handles are in My Block, My Hood, My City on Instagram and on Facebook. If you're a youth that's looking for a job right now, go to our website, formyblock.org, so formyblock.org, and please apply. If you're a senior that needs support right now, we are getting groceries and well-being packets out to seniors. Please go on our website, or if your parents or grandmother needs support, go on our website, formyblock.org, and fill out that application, and we'll get back to you immediately. So thank you, guys.
Awesome.
All right. You can reach me at as my name on Facebook, Ron Scott. On Instagram, my handle is Styles by Fresh. That's STYLZBYF_R_ESH. SH.
Awesome. So thank you all. Again, those who are watching, I appreciate your comments and being engaged. I hope that you are inspired. I hope you also were given some ideas of ways we can continue to build in our community. And one of the comments someone made, I'm gonna chew on it. They said maybe we should do something like mentor and mentee panels. So like actually have some of you all come back with your mentees and just kind of share how their work is working, and we can put their voices at the table. So I do like that idea that someone gave. So again, thank you all for listening in, and we'll definitely connect next week. Take care.
All right, thank you.
All right.